Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Yeah, hi. This is Ron from Cleveland. Today I wanted to just talk about Barry and Stefanski's news conference. In my opinion, it was a sham. It was them trying to convince all the Browns fans that going from the playoff to losing games to following year to losing games more is cool. And we're right on the verge of being a Super Bowl team. As long as he keeps Kevin in there. Yeah, Kevin's a great guy, seems to be very articulate. Maybe him and Barry are great chess partners, but when it comes to running a football team, nah, he's not the guy. There's no fire there. I don't think he even looks out when the team's out there on defense. And to me, until we find a good coach, and we'll probably find out next year, I just feel like a Stefanski and even Barry, as long as they're here, we're not going to see the promised land. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it if you don't want to. I'm sure a lot of people don't. But as always, love the Browns, love your show. Go Cleveland, woof.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Quincy, it's kind of interesting. 2 disappointing years in a row have really created a divide as far as the way the fan base feels about Kevin Stefanski. And maybe unfairly so. Again, I think he deserves another year, and I'm pretty confident they're going to get things headed in the right direction.
Well, it's funny, right? We talk all the time in Cleveland that we want to be like every other division, every other team in its division, right? We want to be like Pittsburgh. We want to be like Baltimore. We want to be like Cincinnati. Why aren't we there? Why did they hop us? Well, we don't want to make decisions like they would make it, right? Like every time it comes down to it, we want to fire the coach. We want to make these decisions, right? 2 underperforming years. We should fire the coach. I mean, if that were the philosophy, John Harbaugh wouldn't be the coach in Baltimore right now. If that were the philosophy, the Saints would have fired Sean Payton his first 2 years. Bill Belichick's first 6 seasons in the NFL, right? The greatest coach of all time. First 6 seasons in the NFL. 1 winning year. 1 winning season in the first 6 seasons as a head coach in the NFL. Took him till 94. Team got moved. We argued that year that he went 11-5 was a disappointment. You could have made a legitimate argument in 1994 when the Browns moved on from him that he was a fraud, right? But 94 and then 95 was the year that the team moved. My bad. That was a mistake there. But still, the point still remains is that it took 6 seasons for him to be good. And I'm not saying Kevin Stefanski is allowed to have 1 good year out of 6, but I think we do overreact in the moment to what the coach does and if the coach has it here, when a lot of this is player results based, right? Like a lot of this is based on what players do. Are players taking advantage of certain situations? And that doesn't mean that the coaching isn't responsible for it, but we act like the coaching matters more than the players on the field. It does not, right? Like bad coaches win a ton of games all the time because they have good players. Like, you think Zach Taylor is one of the greatest coaches in the AFC right now, or you think he just has a really good team, right? Like, we weren't saying this about Zach Taylor 2 years ago when the roster was bad. Now we're saying it about Zach Taylor. What changed? The roster got better, right? This team just did not have success this year. A lot of guys underperformed. A lot of guys at key positions were bad. Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin, the offensive line in general wasn't the same as it's been in the last few years. The quarterback position the last 6 weeks kind of underperformed, right? Where Deshaun wasn't really giving you those statistical games that you wanted to get. If Deshaun plays better, if the offensive line plays better, and if Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett, this team's going to be really good next year, and we're going to be talking about, Kevin really showed something, when it's just like it's the roster at the end of the day. And I think the reason why other teams are able to keep their coaches for a very long time is that they understand that the coaching staff is not going to be more important than what the roster is. So firing a bunch of coaches isn't really going to change your destiny. It's really just going to hinder it because now you're changing what you're looking for on a consistent basis, and now it's making it harder to find good players. So if you have a coach that you feel like is competent at the end of the day, you need to keep him until, you feel like he is either incompetent or can't be listened to anymore. And I don't think it's gotten to that point with Kevin.
Yeah, and you brought up Bill Belichick. Kevin Stefanski's record the first 3 years with the Browns is better than Bill Belichick's first 3 with the Browns. Go ahead and look it up. It's better.